Alright, so we've got Met in. He's looking like he's doing alright walking across there. I did all the little bits and bobs because I know he was only half finished last stream. We didn't even have his lab coat on. But I got one of those assets that we found on the forums. I cut it out. I got rid of like the head, the human head, and the body that it was attached to, and I just sort of overlaid it over this character. Had to make it a couple of pixels shorter because of course it was sort of like coming down a bit lower over the feet, so now it's fine for him, and he looks like he's a real, you know, typical scientist kitty. And it's going to be cute to see him in the lab with all these other scientists that are taller than him. So fun times, cool character there, and I look forward to developing the Kitka race further in our world building streams, and same with the others as well, because we really haven't really done much of that. There's still a lot of all we really know about them is they're a furry race and that's sort of the only thing we know. It'd be nice to fill in some more thoughts, and the Walker as well. Okay, so today, so where's our Trello page? We can now remove, we can archive Met's community member character profile because they are done. I'm also going to say do articles for, well, hang on, we actually don't need to make a new one. Delete that. We can add you to this one. So his name is Bomb. Boom, I mean, not Bomb. I mean, either works. I know when I played Final Fantasy, for example, I pronounced the characters' names different to everybody else until I realised that I'd been pronouncing them wrong all my life. Have we got, this is strange folks, can you see it's saying sending and I'm trying to connect? I'm having connection issues, aren't I? I mean, the stream's still running, isn't it? It says it is. Which is very strange because I did a speed test and it seems like it's fine, like that's really good. So I'm honestly baffled with what's going on. And maybe this is why I had problems starting stream up today as well. The stream is still running. It could be a route, maybe. I don't know much at all about connection and internet and how it all works because I'm not very knowledgeable with tech. So I have no idea how to even begin when it comes to fixing such a thing, if it is that. Hopped through to get Trello. Yeah, we'll see if it can be resolved or easily fixed. I'll give it a Google after. At least the stream's still running. Fingers crossed that it doesn't cause any issues today, because that would be annoying. Because of course, since I've moved, I do have a new internet provider, and it's a better one. I mean, this download and upload speed is like 4 times better than my old one. I only had 12 upload at my old place, which was still fine for streaming. Oh gosh, it's like really, even Discord's gone now. So the speeds themselves aren't the problem. It's clearly something else. You could test it out with the ping command and see if there is such a thing. If there is a delay, then you'll know. Yeah. As long as stream's running, we're fine. If it starts to be weird, folks, just say in chat so I know. We might have to put up with a bit of dodginess going on today when it comes to connecting and things. I know that we have workmen in right now. I don't know if that's interfering at all. It's weird it's today that it's playing up because it's been fine the other days. Although we were having a bit of problem last stream, weren't we, with loading the web Law Bible. But that wasn't anything that was, but it was fine after a while. Okay, so we got a new character. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all this info that we've got for... Is it even going to allow us to do anything? I'm going to have to refresh. It's not even letting us... Oh my goodness. Think something doesn't like me out in this world because everything's been a disruption lately. I wasn't even sure if I could stream today because of the workmen, but like I've managed to find a way around it and they're sort of finishing off now. But yeah. Are we even going to be able to do any work today? See, read Vagabond's character profile. Where are you trying to get to? Well, this is Google Docs. Error connection closed. I have no idea. But yeah, Discord's not loading either, so clearly something's wrong. It's to be honest, I'm surprised the stream's even still running, in all honesty. Surprised I haven't been cut off. So it's very weird. If anyone knows their tech in this chat, that would be awesome, because I certainly need a bit of help. I wouldn't even know where to start with fixing, if routing or routing or whatever it is. What websites can I get to? Well, Google Docs doesn't want to be my friend. I mean, maybe this is broke. All of it's broke, I think. I'm gonna load it all. Discord's not working. Google, I'd say none of them are working. That's my prediction. It's probably all not working. Well, Trello actually is. Okay. Yeah, this... I don't even know if it is, to be honest, because some things aren't even loading like that picture. Try something that is different, like CNET or something else. Okay. I'll open that in another window. Doesn't even seem to be even recognising that website. Yeah, like the connection itself, it says connected. It's as if everything's fine, but it isn't. I'm gonna look what error connection timed out means. It's definitely been very slow. Okay, so that CNET website has loaded up. I've just got it open in a new tab, a different tab. But it's like the images are loading in really slowly. But still, that's better than nothing. It looks like Google is back. Maybe it's working now. Maybe it cut off for a few minutes and now it's back. It's a trackage. I'm just reading what it says about it. Are you seeing? It means something is wrong with your local network connection. However, that is not always the case. Well, that's not helpful. Maybe there was some repairs going on. I don't know. And now they've done it. It just says restart your router, which I already did. I did that when I had the drop frame problem. There's a few other things and tips it says to do, which I'll look over the weekend if I'm able to get in my office between the floor work getting done. Try another browser to see if it's a cache issue. Yeah, you just had a quick disconnect and now your browsers get websites again. Definitely an ISP issue. Any idea how I can solve that, Van? You seem to know your stuff when it comes to tech. I hope everything's alright for the rest of Intrax. I noticed, obviously not calling out lurkers or anything, but I've noticed that maybe there's a bit of an issue with the stream. Maybe I'm just overthinking. Maybe it's fine. Sure, it'll be fine. Nothing's coming up here, but I'm paranoid, of course, with the tech issues we've been having. But we're going to carry on now. Luckily, Google Docs is working, and that's all we need for now. Page break. So, oops, I've accidentally copied and pasted CNET. So now we've done BOOM and we've got the cute little kitty set up in Stream Avatars. We're going to move on to the next character. Vagabond Dogs, which you can see in our Trello. His is the next one to do. Oh no, it didn't save. Trello didn't save the... So, I've still got to learn how to spell his name. There we go. There we go. So it's saved now. It obviously cut off just as I was typing in the name before. So now do profiles for NPCs, bomb the fruits, the bookingtons, and obviously Vagabond Dog's character will need a profile in the Law Bible too. So I'm gonna just put question marks there for now. Oh, for gosh sake, it's reconnecting again. Is it gonna let me do anything? Can you see it says there in that blue box? Okay, is it working now? No, it's still reconnecting. Another thing to check is how old your router is. It might be having issues as well. I'm not sure what router you have, so I can't advise you on where to check the logs. Yeah, it's a new one, I think, because we've had a brand new internet provider since the move, and it's really frustrating because the internet provider we have is like amazing when it comes to speeds, like best in the country, you know, really good upload and download compared to any other companies that do that. But the sad thing is about them is their customer service is horrendous. And if there's ever any issues like this, I cannot rely on calling them and getting it sorted. Like, I'd be on the phone waiting for about 6 hours. No exaggeration, it's terrible. Finally, when you do get through, they're very bad at, yeah, they're pretty bad at trying to help you out as well. So it's sort of something I want to avoid. Anything that involves having to talk to them. It's almost like they know they're the best at when it comes to speed, so they can slack when it comes to customer service. They can get away with it because they know the best, so they've just got greedy. Typical mega corp, really. So if it's something I can solve myself, that's better, really. Because I don't want to have to call them. It'll be my weekend over if I had to do that. But it really doesn't seem like it wants to work for us today, which is really disappointing because I really wanted to vagabond Dog's character today so we could move on to world building next week and do something different. This document is not ready for offline use. Looks like you're offline. To access your documents without an internet connection. Next time, turn on offline. Can we still do this offline? Because to enable offline sync, install the docs offline Chrome extension for your browser. I can't do that if I don't even have. I mean, for now, I could always just use Notepad to put the info in. Because that's offline. But I'm wondering if I'll even be able to access the form that Vagabond filled in. I'll have a look and see if I can. I'm on my WordPress database for the character form submissions at the moment. Let's see how long that takes to load. Also, log into the modem as well. Check those logs for channel interference. Are you able to log in with your other devices? Mobile seemed absolutely fine when I was on it earlier anyway, and when I was checking. I don't know about logging into Google Docs, but like the internet works fine and it's fast. The images load straight away. My mobile's connected to Wi-Fi. Obviously my actual computer is connected to the Ethernet cable, but I plugged that in and out. I might have to unplug the entire router in and out though. Maybe. Do you have a link? Might be able to paste info to you here so you could get started. Oh, a link to what? I've lost the plot. So is it working now? I think Google Docs is working again now. It's probably going to be an on and off thing for us today, but we'll try our best. Your document. Oh, okay. Well, that's all. If we have any more problems, Van, then we can always go about it something like that. Or just use Notepad for now. Fingers crossed it'll behave. So, let's get started. I'm sure it's very frustrating for everyone in chat as well. Okay, so I'm going to just for now put in question marks to fill in the gaps, and this will be handy for a template for the future as well when we have an NPC form to fill in. because it's really like good just to get everything all in, because then I can just copy and paste all of it into the Law Bible easily then as well. I'm excited to see Vagabond's character because I haven't actually read it yet, so it's all going to be new to me what we're about to read. Are you guys looking forward to seeing who Vagabond's character is as well? There we go. So Bomb's there. And then we've got the plant, and we'll keep the template one here. Okay, so we'll fill in this one. Your connection just blipped. Now you're back. Oh, did stream go off? It seems all right here, but it doesn't always tell me when I've gone off, I don't think. I'm gonna just have a check on the Twitch. As long as I'm back, that's the main thing. I'd be very surprised if I managed to successfully do a stream today that doesn't cut off after the bad luck we've had. So all good so far, and I've had to peek and it seems to still be broadcasting. Okay, so let's have a look. I've just clicked on him. You can't see the window I've got up of the character form because it's my WordPress admin behind the scenes, and it probably doesn't have any sensitive information on there, but you know me, I'm just being careful, so I've got it up on a secret tab. But what's in this form, I'm going to just copy and paste into this doc now so we can all read it and say who this character's going to be, because I don't know nothing about this character. I've not read a single thing. And then once we've filled in all the form, we'll make the character sprite. That'll be fun. And if we've got time before I have to head off for the day, we might get both Met and Vagabond into the Law Bible. We'll see. Okay, so Vagabond dog, that's one thing we know. It's all one word, isn't it? You can't have a Twitch name with a space. And then that's it. Vagabond Dog's the last person that submitted a community character. We might have some more in the future, who knows? But that will be it for a while for creating characters. What is your character's name? But he's put Vagabond for both his first and second choice. That's funny. Good job there's not another character in the game called Vagabond, because whatever would we do? All right. Right, so let's read the rest. A human. And guess, you'll never guess what they are. I am a. This is a fun one. A beggar. Vagabond the beggar. We haven't got a homeless person in the game yet. Okay, so the next question to fill in is the allegiance, which is neutral. And the gender is male. I know, it's fun. I think the I am a fill in the gap thing that we added to the form was the best thing we ever did for NPCs, because just having them be something just fleshes them out way more than them just being a nobody with no job or no kind of thing And what is your goal? To complete a collection is the goal. That's interesting. I wonder if there's any more info to say. So, tell us more about yourself and your goal. Now, this is where we find out if we can actually delete that bit, because that was for Met's character. This is where we find out an expanded description of the goal. Not everybody fills that in. You don't have to fill it in. It's optional if you want to flesh the character out more. There we go. So, Vagabond is a wandering, stinky nomad old man who only wants to ponder life and talk and pose funny questions that make people think too much. That's really funny. Stinky nomad old man who wants. So he's an old man. That's one thing we know. So, I'm going to change this to first person now, because all the characters are written in first person. So I'm a wandering stinky would you call yourself stinky if you're talking in first person old man who only wants to ponder life and talk and pose funny questions that make people think too much. Awesome. So I'm gonna underline any like things that take my attention here, like we did for Mets. Old man, so that's important to remember, of course, because obviously when we make the character sprite, we've got to make sure we make them oldish. So they don't do anything probably, but the dialogue's going to be interesting for this one, the posing funny questions thing that make people think, because that's always fun. Some insightful dialogue thrown into the game. Nice, yay! I'm glad that things are working on your end again, Met, and your little kid is walking again. Because when there was issues with my connection a short while ago, I think it reset all of stream avatars, so all of the lurkers disappeared. And I was like, okay, but now it's come back, and your kid is walking across again. Okay, cool. And if anyone has any thoughts about Vagabond, this character, as we fill in the profile, feel free to sort of have a little bit of a say where he could be from in the world. I mean, it's flexible. I'd say he'd be in a populated, as a beggar, maybe a more like city place, either the capital or the urban city, the other big city in the other country, the other side of the continent. Either could work, but you know, it could be in a smaller village or settlements. Well, it all really depends. I think this one's quite a flexible one for location. Okay, so but we'll fit in the rest, because knowing more about them might like help us figure out the perfect place for them. Okay, so the biggest flaw of the character. I'm laughing because I've already read it. Why isn't it paste without formatting? This extension business is very bizarre that Google Docs suddenly has. When I try to copy and paste, it comes up with this, but I've got a way around that, so that's why I don't need the extension. So the biggest flaw of Vagabond the Beggar is that he's very stinky. I think this means that he's gonna have like probably a BO animate, like a bit of like green BO, like, you know, coming off him as his character walks, maybe some flies flying around him as well, and that'll be interesting. Well, he wonders, so where he's from might not be where we find him. That's true as well. So because he wonders, and I think we should underline that one too, because that's kind of says a lot in just one word. That means he's not restricted to one zone. He could easily have been in the capital, but then be in the Badlands, for example, for one reason or another. You know, so it's all it's flexible, this one is, and it's whatever works best with the plot and the point in the story. Very stinky. Ew, I know. And what is your biggest fear? You'll never guess what Vagabond's biggest fear is. Stupid people. We're gonna have to do the formatting again because it's been a bug face. There we go. So that means he must be quite an intelligent guy, right? If he's got no time for stupid people, he's probably got some sort of wisdom in him that makes him despise ignorance. But you know, the fact that he likes to ponder life and things tells me he's quite a thought-provoking, insightful fellow that might have some interesting dialogue to spread to the world and us when we encounter him. I was wondering if Vagabond Dog would be a vagabond or a dog, and he is one of those things. Maybe he's called dog because he smells like a stinky wet dog, maybe. I mean, he is a human. He's racist, so he's not an actual dog in the game, or a walker or anything, but that could be the case then. He just smells like a dog. Having a bath. What do you mean? You mean we could meet him and he's having a bath, or his fears having a bath? That could be true as well. I'm very curious about this character. Would he, if he was offered a better life, for example, would he take it or would he refuse? Maybe he's one of these homeless people that want to stay homeless, no matter what. Fears, yeah, I thought so after. That's something to think about. Who knows? Maybe he'd love having a bath. Maybe that would be his dream come true, but it could also be something he wouldn't want. Maybe he enjoys the stinky life. What is your deepest, darkest secret, if you have one? He was once very, very successful and famous, but he is very ashamed of this fact. Oh, I'm telling you guys before we even get it in. Is there a way I can paste this without formatting? Control-Shift-V is the shortcut. There, I figured it out. So we're going to change this to first person again. I was once very successful and famous, but I'm very ashamed of it. This is more layers now. This is getting interesting. I was once very successful and famous, but I'm very ashamed of that. So he had another life. His backstory means he was once famous. Who knows what he did and what he was? Could he have been a successful musician, a successful actor? Who knows? This is all very interesting because remember when we started, like one thing we've established in our world is that artists are valuable, right? And King Dollars, for example, is probably quite famous, and that's why he was, you know, put into the art competition and then ended up winning. So maybe his success and fame comes from like the creative and entertainment side of things as well, and that could work well with the. I mean, that could work well with the city to the west, with the whole they had this safe haven that was really artistic, but they've sort of become very seedy and like full of criminals in recent years, but at heart they've still got the potential to become that city again down the road. But it could also work in the capital. I mean, he could be king if he wants. He could have been king, but maybe he'd never want to be, because the fact there's a shame there tells me he doesn't want that life. He would rather be a hobo. So it's kind of a parallel to King Dolos almost, and Nigel, because Nigel is this aspiring artist who probably wishes well, he doesn't at this point in his character arc. At the point in Everbloom Forest when we meet him, he's more concerned about his sister and his anxiety and that, and he uses art to sort of calm himself down while he's missing his sister and stuff. But it could definitely lead to him realising there's more for himself in his life than just worrying about his sister all day. And this guy's the opposite of that. He doesn't want the success and the fame. He wants to embrace the hobo life. I wonder if he asks questions to know who to avoid quickly, or avoid stupid people because he doesn't know how to respond when no one answers his questions. And so why was he ashamed? But I know. So these are things we could mull over ourselves, but we could also ask Vagabond when he comes in as well, because he could also have some thoughts on the matter. But it's something we can sort of create ourselves too, because we sort of own these NPCs now ourselves. So we can always have a think. Have we got another green screen issue? There we go, that's a bit better. So what Met said again. So I wonder if he has questions to know to avoid, or avoid stupid people because he doesn't know how to respond when no one answers his questions. Yeah. I wonder why he dislikes stupid people so much. Maybe it's because they make fun of him for being smelly. And he thinks, I'm more than, I've got more, there's more to me than being smelly. I have lots of interesting things to say, but stupid people aren't interested in that. And anything else you would like to tell us? Let's see if that is filled in, because there's more to come. We didn't know he was successful and famous once upon a time until we read his deepest, darkest secret. Okay, so Vagabond wants the world to stop being trivial and focus on the mystery of reality. Oh, I want the world to stop being trivial and focus on the mystery of reality. Interesting. So that's probably why you dislike stupid people, because they're trivial and they just don't see life deeper, and he does. I'm intrigued on this mystery of reality thing, what that the meaning of that could be. So if anyone's got any thoughts, feel free to say. And now let's fill in the rest. But I'd assume the mystery of reality is like, the truth about the world. All those questions that we all ponder over, things like what happens when you die, and we've already sort of talked about the afterlife existing in this world, haven't we? And becoming stars in the sky, and the fact that they're fading now and it's all stopped, and questions like that, mysteries of life. So that's really cool and sort of links in with sort of some of the themes that we've already explored. And he could be one of those characters that put a few thoughts in our head. Maybe he wants to know if the gods are real, if there is an afterlife. Yeah, exactly. Those are definitely things. And it's great to have characters like that, because it's a great way of sort of inserting some of that lore into dialogue without it sounding unnatural or forced. Because if it's already their personality to talk about that stuff, then it's an excuse to sort of reveal a few little things or make the player and the audience contemplate things. Maybe he wants to know what the stars really are. Yeah, so I'm glad that you've mentioned that. So I'm going to be saving all these thoughts that you have, folks, about the character, because then when the time comes and we develop them further, we'll already have sort of a few thoughts on them. I've accidentally opened a sprite. I've clicked on it, so let me cross it off. There we go. It's off now, I think. Sometimes I accidentally click on things in my taskbar. So what is your emotional disposition? He is apathetic, which is basically sort of like unbothered, indifferent. Makes sense for him for sure. His outlook is optimistic. So he does see the positive side of life, and these mysteries of life he wonders about. Probably he has an optimistic view of them. It's not so much a cynical negative view. He's got an optimistic view then by the look of it. He's not optimistic when it comes to stupid people though. His integrity is deceitful. He is neutral in allegiance, but he's prone to being deceitful then. Spontaneous and reckless are these. Oh no, that's reckless there. And this is spontaneous. Open-minded and talkative. And rebellious. Yeah, I'd say all that fits for the sort of person that we're starting to picture. And now it's on to the appearance now. So there's still this profile's very open-ended. There's a few like really interesting things to take away from it, but like we have a sort of bit of control of some of the open-ended parts, which is great. Maybe he is also seen or even being part of the terrible things that are going on in this world, and he thinks those smart people are stupid. They don't understand what harm they are doing to the world, so he dropped into obscurity in his own shame. I'm wondering if he got a taste of his own medicine in his former life and had a come to Jesus moment. Interesting. Yeah, like what was it? Yeah, what was it that made him realise that he didn't want to be successful and famous anymore? Did his fame and success, did he lose that of his own free will? Like, did he decide he didn't want to be that person anymore? Or was he unlucky and lost it all for something out of his control? That's something to think about too. But it seems like it's the first one, right? He chose to stop being that because he's ashamed, and he probably realised how superficial it all was when he judging by this next bit that's coming. Hi Rex, I've been looking this whole time. My character better stop disappearing. Oh Rex, the reason why you disappeared is because I was having tech issues. My whole connection is playing up. Everything just shut down for me. Google Docs wouldn't even at work. It was Google Docs was dead, Discord was dead, but for some reason the stream was still working, but all the internet had turned off, and I think it sort of reset stream avatars as well. So everybody disappeared off the stream. I had a few people walking across, but everyone went apart from me and Van, who were in chat at the time. But obviously when you guys chat, it comes back. So yay. I think it's behaving itself now at least. I need to figure out what the issue is because it's a bit worrying. I did a speed test and that was completely fine. Like, I've got my good speed, so it might be a routing issue, or however you say that word, routing issue. But I don't have a clue what to do there. It's a noob. I noticed that. Yay. Well, at least you're back now. I hope you're being okay. You slept okay. So maybe he's seen, and I'm going to read what Van said again earlier as well. So maybe he has also seen or even been part of the terrible things that are going on in this world. So that's interesting. Something triggered him to change his life. So that's something to mull over too. I'm assuming Vagabond is leaving it up for us to decide, which is why he's not filled it in. Because I always assume anything important, it will already be on the form. Anything that is up to us as the community, we can develop the character from everything that isn't on the form. So for those that are just coming in, chat, if you're wondering what we're doing this week, it's all been about the new community NPCs. We did Met's character on Tuesday and he's walking across the stream now. Little kitty, he's a kitten. Scientist kitten. How cute, he's smaller than everyone else. And now we're doing Vagabond Dog's character, who is a beggar. So yes, there's a few interesting things we're thinking about with this character because they've got a pretty interesting profile. So we're having a bit of a chat about them. And he thinks those smart people stupid, don't know what harm they're doing to the world, so he dropped insecure. Yeah, like the fact he's ashamed, and he's ashamed of his fame from the past, and he's ashamed, he hates stupid people. So that could tell me that he links stupid people to those who were part of his previous lifestyle as well. It's probably the whole shallowness and trivial side of it all that was really off-putting for him, I'd say. There's still a few green screen issues, folks, and it's probably going to take a bit of time for me to sort of get right because of the new room. But it's a difficult one because this room is much brighter than my old room, so I think there's a bit of problems, but it's all right. The last pronunciation was right, yeah, yay. Okay, so now his appearance. Why am I on that bit? That's the R thing. Here we go. So his hair colour is white, which makes sense because he's an old man. So thinking about the variety that we've got in our NPCs at the moment, what other old characters do we have in the game? We have Daver. Daver's is an older guy, but I think Daver's the only older guy character we have, isn't he? So it's cool to have another one. And we're getting young with Met's character. I think Met's our first child character other than Fiona, of course. Okay, and what is your hairstyle? Long. Oh my goodness, do you know what I see here? Hairstyle. He is the scruffy parallel of Ashari, your character, Van. Because he's got white long hair. But he's like, obviously because he's a hiver, he's a beggar. His long hair is probably going to be pretty matted and dirty, and because Van's character's absolute like perfection, right? So that'll be funny. I'm excited to make them now. Your scruffy long lost twin, Van. And what is the eye colour? They don't have blue eyes though. They have green eyes. Their complexion is medium. Which is good because I think we've only got we don't have many darker skinned or medium skin cast in our community NPC list. I think Emerald Emerald's is medium skin complexion. Okay, so fur colour, well, we don't need that because he's not a beast. Do you have any distinguishing features? Very old and long beard. Oh, he's got a long beard as well. And your character Van doesn't have that, so very clean shaven, yours is. Distinguishable features. I was gonna say the beard makes a lot of sense for this guy, because how else would he shave? Why is the spell check not coming up? That is not how you spell distinguishable, surely. It doesn't look right. Distinguishing, or it might be how you spell it. Must be, because yeah, there we go. Distinguishing features. So he very old and long beard. LOL, no, you can't do the same hairstyle. No, of course not. It wouldn't make sense if this vagabond had your hairstyle. It's too groomed. Yours is. This one has to be like, you know, a little bit rough around the edges, right? A little bit messy. Okay. And do you wear any accessories? Ratty clothes. Cool. Ratty clothes. So, I'm intrigued to know what this guy would have looked like in his successful and famous time of his life. I'm imagining he was a lot more, you know, less scruffy looking back then. Van cosplayer. Okay, we're saying all this and he'll probably end up looking nothing like your character, Van. I think the only thing they have in common is literally the white long hair, but everything else is just the opposite. Okay, so that's it, I think. There's no Earl or reference image. So that's it, we've filled it all in. Now we can begin, create the sprite, folks. I'm really getting bugged by this green screen. I'm gonna see if I can stop moving the lights and actually fix it a bit on my settings then. So just give me a mo, chat. Oops. How much can I do without disappearing myself is the question. There we go. I'll do for now, I think. This beggar is going to have long white hair, a blue-white tunic with a light blue coat, so nothing to worry about. We're completely different. Okay then, so we're going to make the sprite now, folks. Let's get Photoshop up. Right, so I'm thinking who to use as a template. So the human, and they have the medium skin complexion. So I don't think we've got a medium skin complexion human in the cast yet, so there's no one to use as a template. I'm gonna have to just use another human template and change the skin complexion manually. So what humans we got? We got Mordecai. I'm gonna just hide Boehm now. And they're male, obviously, so we could use Joe Boy as a template and we'll use Joe Boy as a template. banned from Twitch. Actually, could his hair really be white after no bath for so long? True. It's probably more grey, I'd say. It's not going to be as shiny white as yours. It's going to have a more it probably was white back in his heyday, like when he was the famous successful person he was. But over his years on the streets, he's not washed. It's going to be grey and greasy, isn't it? So yeah. Right, so where's the eyes? We can hide those because we're probably not going to use those ones. Banned from Twitch. It's not even a peanut there. It'd be ridiculous if I was. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is change your skin to medium because that's probably going to be easiest before we start layering him up. So we do have... Oh, hang on. 1 sec. Just hide this for us, just temporarily. Medium skin human. So we've already got... I don't think we've got the body. We've only got the face for some reason. But what I'm going to do to make this a bit easier is just colour pick this. And then I can delete that head then. I'm actually going to start darkest to light, it's a bit easier. I've done it wrong. I can tell just looking at it, it's not right. Okay, darkest is that one and that's that. Then the second darkest is that one and that'd be that. And the third darkest is that one, then that one is that, and then that is that. There, that's better. Okay, so now we've done that, the next job is going to be, let's have a look, remind ourselves, let's have a look at the form again. Okay, so the hair, could do the hair now, then we could do the eyes, and then we could do the beard, and we'll do the clothes last. So I'm gonna, because we've I'm gonna just strike through that just so we know, because otherwise I'm gonna get confused what we haven't done and what we have. So we'll do the hair now, find a cool hairstyle for him. So what I'm going to do is have a little look through the hairstyles on the male generator. And obviously we'll give him his beard, but we'll do that after we've done the hair. So I'm going to open up a few hairstyles in a sec, folks. We can look at them. Because there's not tons of long ones. I know the one that Van did was custom. So yours isn't even here to select from, Van. So there's 4 here. Obviously they're blonde, but so ignore the colour, we're just looking at the hairstyle. I know that's the one that Violet has, but she obviously has bangs with hers. That one's a flick. That one has a sort of updo thing with it. This one might be the best for him because this one looks a bit more scruffy, like with the it's not as smooth as the as this one. So I'm thinking maybe this will suit him. We'll turn it grey and see how it looks. We might need to fill in a bit because there's a bit of missing pixels here as well. We'll get them in the place first. Yeah, definitely the one with the spikes. It's more scruffy. And it looks a bit unusual seeing the blonde, but when that's grey it could look really cool, especially when it's matched up with a beard and the clothes as well. It's really fun seeing the NPCs come to life as we slowly build them on them layer by layer. I hope stream's going okay, guys. I can't help but be a little bit paranoid today with the issues. I don't know what's happened to his head. Very confused why that head is chopped up. But I think the hair's going to cover that up anyway, so I'm not going to fuss too much over that for now. So let me find the rear hair. This one is called number 800. So I've got to just find the matching hair for him. Here it is. Yeah, so we can't even see the chopped off. I don't know why the head's chopped off. It must have been something I did for Joe Boy's character because for some reason or another, the template I used on him, because the other people's heads aren't like that. Yeah, there's a bum in the screen. I apologise, everyone. Just a pixel. Grow up. Okay, so I'm gonna just fill in these little bits because for some reason. I think it's like that because obviously now we're using the tall sprites. The head shape is a little bit on the slimmer side compared to the default to give it a more grown up look and less chibi. So the head size was reduced by a little bit. The cheeks don't sort of stick out like they used on the character. So because of that, it leaves a bit of pixel space when you put the hairstyles on them. But it's easy enough to fill in. And the side view ones are fine. Okay, so I've accidentally put them on the wrong layer. Let me just merge those layers together. Because this layer has to be separate, you see, as the one facing the front has to be on a separate layer. Because of the way the layering works when you... There we go, so... Yeah. It's because the shoulders have to be above the hair on for this one. But they have to be behind on that one. So they're on separate layers, those hairs are. Okay, so now we can colour him in with grey hair. Your stream has been fine. I'm glad to hear it. Things are still good, thank you, folks. You know. Okay, so what I'm going to do for the grey hair is I'm actually going to look at David's character. Because he has grey hair. And probably the sort of grey hair we're after. It's not quite, I don't think it's white, I think it's grey. So I'm going to have a look and see. And I'm actually opening the stream avatars for this one. I could have, this is his old stream avatar, isn't it? No, it is. This is his small one. This isn't the new Dave. Look at the difference in size. This is new Dave. Where is he? That's new Dave. It's a bit of a difference in height. But the hair's the same. So I'm just going to use little David to just do that. Oh yeah, so I was confused. I was like, why is that Dave here? There we go. Yeah, it's the exact same colours. So I think that's looking cool. He definitely looks like, you know, he doesn't look perfectly clean like Van's character does. So we're good. I think the challenge of this character is actually making him look as least like Van's character as possible. Just because he's clearly had loads of baths. I'm gonna have to zoom in a bit for this because I can't see properly. Yeah, for some reason you see the odd pixel. That must be because it was another colour for some reason, but there we go. All looking very good. So, just need those layers. Well, he's in an, oh yeah, exactly. It literally was only the white long hair that they've got in common, and everything else is like the complete opposite that you could get. It just shows. When it came down to it, he looks nothing like Van. Okay, so let's cross the hair off the list. Text straight through, because then it's just easier to know what we've got to do next. So we could either do his eyes now. We know the green, but we can decide out of the 8 sets of eyes which suited more. Or we could do the beard first. I'm thinking doing the beard first because his eyes would look very different when he's clean shaven compared to when he's got the beard. It could be it could trick us and he could look like a completely different person with the eyes if we. So I think we'll save the eyes till last. I mean, we'll do the eyes before we do the clothes, but we'll do the beard before we do the eyes. And then, you know, we'll see his face exactly how it will look then when we put the eyes on, because it'll be done. I'm going to just cross off this hair. Right, so I'm going to open up the beards that are in the generator. I tell you what, I've just looked at the time and I see that it's 5 PM and this afternoon is flying by, but you know, with all the tech issues we had at the start of stream and my late start because of the tech issues, that explains why it feels like time is flying by. But I think we could do Vagabond's character before we finish. That'd be great, because my goal for this week was to finish Met and Vagabond, have a stream for each of them, and then next week we can move on to, so the next part we can do some more world building again, get the characters out the way. Right, so there's a few beards, but I'm only going to open the long ones. There's 3 long ones here, but we also have Mordecai's beard asset, and I want to look at that one because his is even longer. I think that's King Dolos. You know, that one's not a bad one for a homeless guy. I mean, I think these two are that's way too tidy for a homeless guy. I'm going to have to let you guys see because you can't even see. I've got it open. That's too tidy for a homeless guy. That one's a bit of an improvement, but that one's even better. But before we decide for good whether that's the one we're going for, I want to just look at Mordecai's beard and see, because Mordecai's got your typical wizard beard, like, you know, your Gandalf beard, like long, as you can see there he is. So I'm wondering what you guys think as well, and what beard is the best for him. We could always try both. So what I'm going to do is where's the beard asset? Wow, the beard's attached to his hood. I'm gonna just copy and paste this beard asset. Just this front facing one for now. And we'll see both. We'll look how both beards look on him, and then make our mind up. I mean, this is a very weird wizardy beard, so I'm not sure. Maybe the scruffy beard is better, but the long one, the longer the better, right? We'll see. I'll see what you guys think as well. Obviously we'd have to colour it in. What I'm going to do, just to, you know, give them both a fair shot and we can see them next to each other. Let's colour that in. Not sure what. We've got that one. I don't know if I've 100% got the colours right on that though. I think the dark one's a little bit better, yeah. So there's that, and then let's try the other one, and we'll change the colours of that too, because it's, you know, you sometimes think, oh, but you want to at least try them all, don't you, to just make sure. A bushier beard, so is AFK. What are the choices? You could round off the wizard beard, just take off the tip. That's true as well. We'll colour this one in, because this one could, for all we know, look absolutely fabulous when it's coloured in. I think we've done it a bit too light, so I'm going to just make it a touch darker. The thing is, the Mordecai asset beard looks a bit flatter in colour because it was used for a black beard, and because the black colours, the black asset probably has less light in it. It gives the impression of looking a little flat when it's being coloured in. So, round beard is what I was thinking of too. Totally agree with Ban. Yeah, I think it's too wizardy, isn't it, with the tip? I mean, I'm kind of thinking this one's better because it's rounder and bushier, and it's also just got a bit more life in it. So, I mean, it looked great on Mordecai, this one did, when it's dark, but it doesn't look so good in a slightly lighter colour. Just add a couple of highlights. Yeah, I don't know if it'd be pulled off though, folks. I'd still think this one looks better. Because, I just don't think this asset's as strong as the other one. I mean, it might be. I mean, maybe I'm being too critical and this one is better. But, I don't know. I've just chopped off the V anyway. So, we'll give it a go. I mean, if anyone thinks this one's better and we just should go for that, feel free to say. But if you think this one's better, then say why, because I'm curious. Okay, so highlights. I mean, I want to make sure I do them right. Don't think there needs to be one there. Looks more high highlight. Yeah, maybe this is too King Dolus looking, because it is the same asset as King Dolus's beard, except a slightly longer version. Okay, so we're getting there. I'm just adding a few more highlights, but I'm trying to figure out the best spot to put them. Probably fill most of the middle area in, but leave the outsides darker grey. What do you reckon? Have I gone too far with these highlights? I might have gone a bit overboard with them. The Mordecai beard looks stringy. And that fits the unkempt look, yeah. So I like the left one, but I don't understand what that boomerang shape bit at the bottom is. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. What is that? Maybe reduce the contrast of the internal outlines in the left beard by changing it from black to dark grey. Yeah, I think that's because it just this bit stands out too much. Maybe this could look better if it didn't have that there. Just out of curiosity, let's chop it off, because it is a bit distracting. But I know what Van means. It's got a more unkempt look to it, this one, as well as that one looks very, very regal. It's more regal, isn't it? Or do you think it's better now we've chopped that off? Maybe it's just improved tenfold. Tell me what you reckon, folks. I mean, should we move them across? I mean, this one, I feel like the highlighting on it's not quite up to scratch. I'm trying my best, but it might need a bit more work. It looked fine with the flatter colouring on the black colour, because black's darker. But yeah, it looks as flat as a pancake with the lighter beard. Add another mid-grey towards the bottom to make the shadowing a little deeper. Yeah, maybe, because this shading seems goes. Have we got a mid-grey? There we go. We're getting there a bit, maybe. Trying to make it not look too symmetrical, because then it'll lose the unkempt look. Okay, we're getting there. What do you reckon, folks? Any thoughts? Feel free to give your thoughts. Well, I think that beard on the left is 100% better on the beard look, but doesn't seem like a hobo beggar. And you should save the new beard for a more regal character in the future. Yeah, like this one definitely has the look of the bearded men who were sort of are in the royal court, right? And are members of the government, maybe. Like King Dolos, that's just a slightly long version of King Dolos's beard, and it's perfect for him because he's the king. It would be a bit weird if the beggar and the king share the same beard, right? Because one of them's meant to be so yeah, I think with a bit of improvement, if we can work on a little bit of shading, maybe we should go for that one. And it would look great on a night, yeah. So, any thoughts on how we should tidy up this beard a bit? I'm gonna try and copy the shading if I can. This one, maybe the other way round, the grey here. It's about just adding a few little touches to make it look less flat. Yeah, it would be odd. Put lighter tones on the top part by the moustache, think like reflects down. Yeah, should we go even lighter? I mean, on this bit here, yeah, because there's no dark on this one. Maybe that's why. What do you reckon about that? I'm sort of getting rid of the dark ones, but maybe I've gone overboard. Maybe they're fine. It's like, how much dark should we get rid of? Just the moustache ones? Because we don't want to get rid of the shape altogether, do we? Would it work to take the moustache from the fancy beard and put it on the scruffy one? It might do, but we could always test it. But it's whether it looks like it's two different assets stuck together, but maybe it won't. Maybe it look good. What do you reckon, Vikes? Hang on. Yeah, maybe that's what it's lacking. It's lacking that bit of moustache, isn't it? And now, don't get me wrong, that could suit a wizard, the finer sort of moustache, but maybe the thicker works. What do you reckon? What do you reckon, Vikes? You think the moustache is what makes it regal? You think the thin moustache works then? Yeah, it's hard to make up our minds, isn't it? Because, you know, this moustache is so important on this character. I mean, we could always add it, but just do something to make it look less regal. What do you reckon, Vikes? It's a tough one. Make it a extract the fancy moustache and put it on there. I mean, we need to sort of make the hole where the mouth is, because there we go. Let me how's that? Something looked a bit weird about the outlining work here, so I'm trying to fix that. There's a few now I don't know. Why isn't it drawing a dark pixel there? Photoshop, shut up. Maybe it's because it's up. There we go. Something looks a bit strange though. Yeah, there's missing pixels. That's what's strange, right? That looks to me like the transparent Photoshop pattern. this little bit here. Let's fill that in. You know what I mean? How it's got the... Let's delete that. Let's see what it's meant to. Yeah, it's meant to look like that, that's why. It looks like a character that used to command respect but has lost it. I think that works for his character. Right? Yes, that's basically what he is, Rex. He's a beggar now. He's a homeless man, but he used to be famous. He used to be successful and famous, but he's very ashamed of his past life. It's almost like he wants to be a beggar. So, but yeah, he's very smelly. So. I think it looks more like Grizzly Adams, so it's improving. Yeah, the whole point is he's got to look a bit scruffy. If this beard was too perfect, then it's too regal. I think maybe we could have the darker grey there, though I don't think we need the too light bits. I've got tons of layers now. I'm gonna have to merge them all because it's all getting confusing. Maybe he was a former king. That would be really interesting. Yeah, like he's old, so he could have a lengthy backstory because of his age. And Dolos probably hasn't been in power for long. I mean, he's been in power for long enough for Traitorio to get in with the government, hasn't he? Because it was really Dolos's decision to give Traitorio the power he's got today. So I'd say it's been a decent amount of time, but not like a long time. So there's definitely a chance he could, I mean, that could have been what his fame and success came from, being a previous king. But he'd have had to have been good at the arts as well, of course, if he was a previous king, because that's how you get in from the art competition. There's a bit of a odd pixel there we go. So there's a few things to think about there, you know. The more we can tie it in with the plot, the better, because really the challenging part with these NPCs, especially the community NPCs, because they have the risk of becoming random, don't they? The challenge is to make them connect with everybody else and with the bigger picture of the story. And if we can successfully do that and give them all a purpose in the bigger scheme of things, that's, I think, a big win for us, because there's nothing wrong with having NPCs that are a bit more random and have their own little stories going on in the world. That's totally fine as well, as long as it connects with the lore and the themes that we're going for, to have a side thing. But it's even more cooler, isn't it, when there's a bigger purpose for a character, I think. And that's easy for us to do with the community characters like Nigel and Fiona that we make. Well, they're not community characters, they're ones that we make on stream. It's easier to sort of mould them because we make them from scratch. But it's fun, isn't it? The community characters are fun because it's like almost like a roll of the dice who we're gonna get, like from what's been filled in by someone. And it's fun to sort of challenge yourself to making them part of the world as well. That'd be really interesting. He could also be a former mayor of the West City. Yeah, like even the urban city. We don't know for sure whether he's involved in the life of the capital. He could be involved in life in the other city. Either, whatever is going to work best with the story. It's hard to know at this point in time until we start you know, like figuring things out with what goes on in each zone. I don't know if we should add those black bits. I'm trying to make my mind up there. Might look fine without. Yeah, it probably looks better without, perhaps. Alright, so let me just merge these beard layers. We still got to do the side beard though. We'll delete that one now. So where's Mordecai's beard again? We're gonna have to copy and paste Mordecai's side beard. Might need to add a bit of highlights to that as well. But once we've done the beard, we'll get to move on to the eyes and then the clothes. Hopefully we get time to at least get the eyes done and start the clothes before the end of stream. I'll read what you guys have said in a sec and get to a good spot with this beard. Is it too high up? Might have to look at Mordecai to see how it lies on his nose. Yeah, 1 pixel lower. And on that one. Oh, it actually sits lower on his nose by just a touch. So let's fix that. Keep on doing the wrong layer. There we go. I'm going to merge them so it doesn't get confusing. Okay, so we're going to have to just edit this beard, make it the same length as this one and change the colours in a minute. I'm going to just read what Tracker says. Making one of the individuals have been doing some of the bad stuff going on behind the scenes, or he could have been a former knight, someone close to the king, or maybe an advisor to the king had before Traitorio replaced him. Yeah, that's even true as well. He could have been his advisor and then he lost his job to Traitorio. It could have been the old prime minister, you know, because someone would have had to have been in power before Traitorio. That's another thing. Maybe Traitorio came to government and this one was king and caused the guy's downfall, and Traitorio helped promote him to in an easier to manipulate person. Yeah, I mean, he could have been previous king before Dolos, which fits because if he's artistic or something, if he had fame and success in that line of work and that's what got him to king, then that could work. But previous prime minister gives him an even closer sort of, like, you know, revenge against, or like, you know, he's an antagonist, a rival to Traitorio, and he'd be somewhat, well, he's not bitter at all, he's happy he's not in that life anymore, right? He's ashamed. So there's a few thoughts. I mean, I'm glad that we're sort of thinking nothing's set in stone quite yet, but we'll think about it, and whatever really slots itself into the plot best, I think, is what we'll go with. Something where he just fits and it's too perfect to refuse. Okay, so how long is this beard? 16. So 1, 2, 3. So we've got to just reduce it by 3 pixels. Okay, so that's the exact same width now as this one. So I'm going to just change the colours. Again, this one's going to look a bit flat, so we'll have to fill it in a bit more again, like we did this one. Try and match the colours as best as possible, really. It sort of looks like the beard's hanging off his face on this, unfortunately. Like, there's no bit here, and I think that's because, obviously, because it's Mordecai's asset. Where's Mordecai hiding? I've got so many characters. Because he was wearing a hood, it hid. There was no beard underneath. So he's lacking a bit of beard, which will obviously have to be added because it'll look very strange. But for now, I think because we're coming towards the later part of stream and I don't want to waste time making some beard for the rest of stream, and we want to pick his eyes and consider clothes, I'm thinking let's just ignore the side view for now, and I'll fix that up once we got the front view sorted. Just focus on this particular one for now. We'll just get the front row done because it's an easy copy paste job. Okay, there we go. Right, eyes. And yeah, okay, so he's got green eyes. Let's have a look at the eye selection we have. So for medium skin, what I'm going to do then is copy the eye folder, bring it up, overlay it on top. So we only have it on this one, so let's just move across to this one, thanks. Okay, so we got to add the green ones. I'm going to delete the brown and blue so we don't get mixed up. I always find it exciting trying all the eyes. Oh, it's 7 pairs of eyes, not 8. I haven't accidentally deleted any, I don't think. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's 7 pairs of eyes. Okay, so it's all the green ones here. Now, folks, those of you that are in chat, you'll be the ones that get to give your thoughts on what eyes are the perfect fit for this homeless man. So we have these eyes, which, I mean, I call them shy eyes, but they could easily give off other characteristics like being a bit tired, being fed up with life. You know, that kind of gives off that impression with him. In all honesty, I think they suit him. I don't think this guy should be too bright-eyed or large-eyed, because from his profile, if we take out some really some adjectives on what he is and how he's feeling, he's apathetic. He's sort of he thinks people are trivial, and he's you know, he's wondering, he ponders life. So that's probably a guy that's sort of a bit fed up, but he's still optimistic about you know, the bigger questions in life. So that's one choice. And then we got them eyes, which, yes, very antagonistic, which suits some characters. I mean, I guess it depends how we want him to come across. This definitely gives a more hostile impression, a little bit more fierce. This one's more tired, fed up. The emotional eyes are also interesting. They also give a sort of feeling of, you know, I've seen some things in my life, and almost, you know, like, yeah, he's seen some horrors and he's a bit sad about it. The serious eyes, yeah, they are very serious. I see the Google Doc. Thanks for saying. Let's bring Photoshop back up so you guys can say. Right, so let's put them back. There's the shy eyes. Your skin also becoming part of the green screen. Am I disappearing? Am I all right? Oh yeah, my arm is turning green. It's either be one with the green screen and turn into an alien, or have bits of green screen showing. So I have to pick. See right through your skin. Yeah, I've probably put a bit much of the webcam. I'm all right at the moment, I think. Okay, so these eyes, I'm going to go through them one at a time. I'm going to have a ramble about each of them and the sort of feeling I get. This one's like very tired, fed up with life, fed up with people. Tell me what impressions you get about the eyes as well, folks, because you might have a different perspective. Tough eyes, more hostile, aggressive, annoyed. This one's similar to the first eyes, sort of a bit tired, serious, fed up with life, emotional, seen some horrible things they don't like. Serious eyes, they're like just really you know, serious. So how else can we sum that up? And then we've got the young guys, which I don't think the young guys would fit him, because not just because he's an old man. Some old men could look fine with the young guys, but it comes across as too innocent. That would fit a more innocent old man who's probably not homeless. And then you've got the handsome eyes, which I don't know, I'm not sure whether handsome is an adjective to describe him, or pretty. So I'm less sure about the last three sets of eyes, because they give the impression of more bright-eyed and young and pretty. Whereas the first four sets of eyes, you could connect more with a homeless person. So it's whatever one we prefer and want to go for out of the four. Any of them could work. It's whatever goes best with his personality. So let's see what you say. No on the tough. So yeah, no. The tough one, part of me thought, yeah, it could be a contender because, you know, someone who's homeless has had it rough and stuff, and they get annoyed easily, like he does over stupid people. But I think the other ones, this one, and this one, probably fit in better with the tired old man character who's homeless. This one's more of a thug, right? A bit more of a scoundrel who's going to rob you. Whereas this one is probably not going to do that. But they are probably a bit fed up of you. And Rex likes the third one, which I take it is that one for you, Rex. Unless you mean without the tough eyes. Tell me which one you mean. This is number 1. This is number 2. And this one's number 3. So we've only got 3 for the contenders right now, because tough eyes has been taken out. So 1, 2, 3. So Rex likes number 2. Van says 1 and 3. Was it number 2 back then? Asharu's eyes are the handsome eyes, Van. Those are Asharu's. And I removed the pretty eyes, the handsome eyes, and the young eyes from the choice because they're just too bright-eyed, and they're too bright-eyed for this sort of character, and young, and not necessarily young, but not handsome. You know, I'm not sure whether handsome is something that's him. Although he was successful and famous, he could have been back in the day. But that's another thought to think about. I like 1. I think he looks like someone who has felt the weight of the world. He's tired of people, ashamed of his own past. 1 really makes him worn out. Okay, so we've got a draw then. Met. I figure tough might work if he's very demanding with his questions. Yeah, so does that mean you like the tough one, Met? Because if that's the case, we've got a split. We can't make a decision until people agree on the same one, really, because otherwise it's a... But I sort of see a point, Van, though I do think this one as well, the second one, sort of gives that same feeling as 1. Let's see what they look like zoomed out, because sometimes it's good to see the zoomed out version as well, and it can look a bit different. I don't think anyone's for the serious size. Nobody was favouring this set, were they? Probably a bit too serious looking for him, because this guy, didn't he say, let's just review the former sec. Yes, this is an important one. This might help a bit. Pose funny questions, which means the square serious eyes might not go with the guy that wants to be a bit funny. So that's another thing. I mean, this character, yeah, he's fed up of life. So that's the serious eyes, and would he get away with being funny? I don't know, but these ones could do a bit more, maybe. So it's almost like you could use 1 when he says certain things or is remembering his past. And I think that it depends on the story arc, because those 2 has a glimmer of hope. You might use Biofire Stime out on 1, and then if things get better, use 2. And maybe CSIs if things get really well. So let's have a look. Yeah, so that's a good point. It depends on the director of his character, because these eyes are very heartbreaking, aren't they? These ones I've got on right now, they're very melancholy, they're very, very sad, and like there's no hope almost. So if that was his arc, yeah. But then this one, not the tough ones, these start to get a bit, these ones still look really sad. Like there's almost like he's about to cry with these eyes. But they're probably, you know, a bit more, he's a bit more alert. I don't know if alert's the right word. And that one, that's very alert, that one is. Oh yeah, my skin's coming through, I see. Serious might work. I could actually see that working more when he's trying to be funny or he's curious about someone. Yeah, because I wanted to like point out the funny questions bit because I almost forgot about that myself. But yeah, he does like to be a bit funny, and it's funny because I call them serious eyes, and I thought, well, if he's being funny, maybe serious doesn't suit him. But the thing with these eyes is that they evoke a lot. Strangely, for some really small pixel eyes, they give off a lot of sort of character, and it's not just serious that it looks. It could give off other emotions too, right? So I think it's a tough one with this one. This one almost looks like he could have we'll get rid of tough eyes because I'm not sure we figured he'd be that antagonistic. I mean, I know that we said that, you know, different emotions, you could have, you're right, the eyes look different. But it's almost like these eye sets have been designed for completely different people. So it's more like each set will have its own emotion and emotions within that set, rather than switch between the tough if they're angry and switch between that one if they're sad, because then they're at the risk of looking like completely different people. So I think it's about thinking of the best default for him for now, but obviously when he's feeling different emotions, getting a bit more hopeful, that individual eye set might be adjusted a touch, like to give a different sort of emotion from it. So I think we're all split. Like we've had people like that one, and the third one. So asking a funny joke doesn't mean he's not asking it for what he feels is a serious reason. Yeah, I mean overall I'd say he's serious because he ponders like big questions about life and things, but he's a bit funny with it. Yeah, so I think because I can't decide myself, if I could be the person who just says, okay, I'll decide, then that would be easier. But I'm struggling to make my mind up as well at the moment. These eyes are Nigel's eyes, actually. I think they were. Let's have a look. Yeah. Nigel had the square eyes, and he looks even more sad because he has like slanted eyebrows, so they give him this really anxious, worried look, and it sort of gives off a different look when the eyebrows are straight, doesn't it? It's interesting what you can do with just a few pixels. That's why I think each of these eye sets could easily have emotions within that eye set as well, because just moving a pixel or two round a bit can change how they come across. I'd say 2 is closer to what he would have as a baseline emotion than 1. Yeah, so maybe we could use 2, like, because we sort of said this would be how he is at the start, or Van said that could be how he is at the start, a bit more hope. Not as hopeful or something, and then it would be that, and then it would be that. So considering that would make 2 the default middle one, but we could always do it that we have this set of eyes, but make a sort of more slitted version similar to this for when he's feeling a little bit wary and fed up. And then if he's more alert, we just make them a bit wider so they look a bit more like that. Because I think that could be something we do, like give each set of eyes emotions as well, just to give a bit more character for each of the eye sets. And I feel like one expresses his ashamed feelings and down points the cat. Yeah, I mean, he's a tough one, this one, because this character's got a lot of layers to him. He's got feelings of shame, but he's also like got a bit of humour to the character, as well as someone very insightful and wisdom, and you know, there's a lot going on with him, so it's kind of hard to set down on one overall feeling. But I think the good thing about this set of eyes is it's probably more adaptable, and we could easily do something where we narrow it down. Let me just have a little practice, like something like that, for example. I've literally just closed the eye so it's more slitted, and that could be like the fed up look for him, right? I mean, that's surprisingly worked. I didn't think it would look that very good doing that, but I literally just moved that eye set down by one, and it's given another fed up sort of face that's a little bit different to that one. That one's almost got a glisten in the eye, whereas that one's not even got one. So there's like a sort of different, it's amazing what you can do with pixel eyes. There's just so many different variations. Yours truly said what language you used to make the game. Dunno. JavaScript, but I honestly don't know because I'm not a coder. I don't belong in science and technology, people. I feel like I'm an imposter. I just want a home. I want a home for game dev, where it isn't all about code. I figured one might be an expression he makes mid-conversation as a tell for when he's trying to avoid discussing something. Yeah, that's, you know, I'm with you guys. I think it makes sense that he'd be someone who could flip between a few, you know. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want him to look like a completely different person too drastically, because the whole purpose of making different eyes wasn't for expressions for the same character, but so people actually look different in the world. It was more about that, so that people just weren't a clone of each other all with the same face. And long term, I want to make, like, say, a set of expressions within each eye set. So say, for example, these eyes will have 5 or 6 or 7 or however many different variations of expressions. This one will have a few different variations, and that one will too. So it's all going to be about just picking a default one for now. And like I said, if we do go for number 2 as a sort of middle sort of point, we really are very keen to give off this sort of look as well now and again, because I know I think it makes sense what you say. He would have that kind of look now and again. We could just sort of recreate that look by squishing the eyes and giving him that kind of face, and that way we're using the same eye set then, and he's not going to look like he's just a completely different person all of a sudden. It's the same eye set, and it looks more natural then as he sort of switches from one expression to another, rather than his eyes just being a completely different shape. So something like that, for example, like that's that eye set, and that's it when he's a bit more fed up. And we can also do a version where he's a bit more wide-eyed as well with it. I probably just, let's have a practice. It might not look right first attempt, but we could always give it a go. Something like that. He's a bit more alert, a bit more like, oh, you've just said something interesting today. You know, like, So I like that you can just squish the eyes up a bit, make them bigger, make them smaller, just to evoke different emotions. So there we go. So that's the default one. This, where is he when he's a bit squished? Did we delete that one? I think it overwrit it, didn't it? So, you know, just doing that has kind of recreated those 3 sets of eyes that we were sort of torn between, but just with a more consistency, because it's the same eye shape. And then imagine watching a scene, having a conversation. As his face moves, it feels a bit more natural and smoother between the animations. Because imagine going from like shy eyes to the tough eyes, it'd be like, whoa, like that's drastic. Like imagine going from pretty eyes to those eyes. I mean, in some degrees it works, because it can be it's fine to use exaggerated eyes now and again, like we've used the big eyes when the hero sees Carol, or when Fiona pushed in a light, we use the nanny face, and that's fine. But you know, sometimes we don't want, you know, I think it's cool to have smoother animations too. But yeah, so where were we? Let's go back to these eyes. So yes, I mean, if we want to create a brand new eye set, I mean, we could use this as default, we could use that as a default, but still see it as he'll have that face now and again as well. I mean, that I don't know about that as a default. It probably looks a bit too miserable, but it's a great face for some parts. So, but maybe this is a good default. But then when he's saying something sad in the dialogue, or he's showing signs of being fed up, he would switch to that. Alright, so if he doesn't change eyes too often, one time we could change it is during a flashback to Mark when he emotionally changes to abandon his former life. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, the way I approach scenes, I do like to be quite animated and expressive and have a bit of that. I don't like people to just be standing talking heads where the face is the same. And so I would say that, you know, all the NPCs, not even just this guy, but all the NPCs will have switches between different eye shapes and eyebrow shapes as they're talking. And because if that happens quite often, which it probably could, it's probably important to not have it be too jarring between switches and have it be a natural sort of slight change, not something that's so yeah, I mean, we could use that as a default, but I think it's, yeah, keep it in mind that he's going to have different eyes, and he's definitely going to have those thinned eyes and feelings of shame quite a bit as well. But yeah, when we make their bio, and that unfortunately we can only have one eye set for that bit, unless of course we save it as a GIF, but I don't know if the Law Bible will let us save GIFs, because then we could have a whole like different array of faces within the GIF if we could, but that would take a long time to do. Alright folks, so well, it's hot in my room. We haven't found him some clothes yet, but from the form we know he's going to just wear some messy clothes, so I'll just be looking for some, and I'm a bit see-through, I say. I'm okay sometimes. I'm going to be looking for some messy homeless clothes assets between now and next stream, and I'll try and get this guy done, get his beard fixed up. But we've got the overall look sorted and he's looking pretty cool, so I'm gonna just save that. So I'm gonna cross this one out. because I think that's it for those now on stream. I mean, we've already done Met's character and Vagabonds. We won't be going into next stream with him again. I'm going to finish him off stream now and get him into stream avatars off stream. And so maybe his end story, if we follow through with an attachment to the government, if we do save things, if Nigel becomes king, then maybe Vagabond is brought back in as his advisor. That'd be cute. Because I was liking the, before my house move, we had a stream about the government, didn't we, where we set in stone the art competition, and it was all really, we had some really wholesome ideas about different endings where Nigel could be king, or Violet could be queen, or one of the fruits could be king, because they go on to be painters. And it's kind of up for you as the hero who you want out the gang to be that one who gets their chance to shine, because part of the enjoyment of this sort of RPG and the whole branching plot thing and multiple endings is that you can sort of change people's fates to your liking, and you get to choose. Like, not every playthrough is Nigel as king, others will have other ones as king. So that's one good ending as well, like one where he's come back as an advisor. I think something like that, him being the older advisor, or even the old prime minister, if we want him to have more of a significant, could work too. Because someone would have had to have been prime minister before Territorio as well. So who would have been that? Because someone would have to be the new prime minister as well, right? If Nigel's king and he's prime minister, that could work. I guess it depends. The importance of advisor, and if it makes more sense as advisor rather than prime minister. And if not prime minister, then who would be prime minister? Another character. So this is fun. I like the thoughts we're having, and there's a potential like future for this character and significance, which is great. So I've crossed that off now. Next week we'll be doing something else on this list. I would like to do a bit of world building, I think. Not necessarily something on this list, although this is going to be important and stuff that we're going to do, but I was thinking about world building where we discuss the races in a bit more depth, like things like people's different sort of attitudes to them, their biology, their genetics, how they sort of look after their own young when they're born, and the difference with Kitka and Walker and Draw life compared to human life or Fae life or Elven life. And because there's going to be all these intricacies and differences that they have from each other. And obviously considering Bohm, who we made earlier in the week, and these little things here, like, it makes me think about how they could be treated, on how different people see them. So there's a few things to think about there. So we'll probably have a stream where we talk about races, but then also these things too. And obviously making HD version of the Barrel Sprites is one cool thing to do, but we might do that the week after. We'll see how it goes. But thanks for hanging out. I'm going to head straight off now. I'm desperate for the Tinkle Potty. And then we use the grey wiggle beard with it when it's cleaned up. Yeah, that's true. He could have a more kempt beard then. And maybe a haircut. But who knows, maybe he likes long hair. But he'd wear better clothes for sure as well. Yeah, all these really cool ideas, folks. I love it. So I will see you on Tuesday next week, everybody. Thanks for the awesome stream, despite the technical difficulties we experienced a bit at the start. It's been a bit of I was a bit concerned the stream wouldn't be able to go ahead at one point, but we managed to carry on. It was all working again, so it's all good. So see you next week, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.